Hello, everyone, and welcome to the prelude to the 1990 throwbacks. As you can see up in the upper right-hand corner, here's how we usually do these things. I usually go over what the roster changes are, go through the whole 42-car field, give you guys a little bit of a race, and we're basically going to see how this turns out. So we'll simulate past qualifying here. And it looks like Jeff Bodine is going to be on the pole for the Prelude race. Awesome. Alright, so Jeff Bodine is going to be on the pole. We got Mark Martin in second, and then we have Ricky Rudd in third, Alan Kowicki fourth, Dale Earnhardt in fifth, Darrell Waltrip sixth, Bill Elliott in seventh, Kyle Petty in eighth. We'll have Davey Allison in ninth. Brett Bodine will be in the number 75 car. He is in 10th. In 11th, we have Ernie Irvin. He moves over to the 4 car. In 12th, we have Rusty Wallace. He will be staying in the 27, although underneath new ownership. In 13th, we have the 15 of Morgan Shepherd. He takes over this ride. And in 14th, we have the 5 of Terry Labonte. He ends up taking over the 5. In 15th, I believe, we have the 25 of Tim Richmond. In 16th, we have the 10 of Derek Cope. No changes. The 17th, we have Hutch Strickland. He moves over to the 12. And the 55 team gets converted into the 1 team. And Phil Parsons is still driving for this squad. And then we have Dave Marcus. He's still in the 71. And we have Bobby Hilton Jr. He's still in the 8. Cale Yarborough moves from the number 29 machine to the number 66 machine and picks up last year's Rookie of the Year, Dick Trickle, to race the number 66 car. And the number 66, the former number 66 team, now gets a new owner in the form of Travis Carter. They move over to the number 98, and Rick Mast is still driving for them. And then we've got the 21 of Neil Bonnet, no changes. The number 35 Folgers Decaf Chevrolet turns into the number 18 Ultra Slim Fast Chevrolet, as Ken Schrader is still driving for Rick Hendrick. The 88 car is still around as Buddy Baker still owns the team. Jimmy Spencer is still driving for him. Dale Jarrett would end up moving from Cale Yarborough Racing over to Rod Osterlund to race another season in the number 57. Mickey Gibbs moves from the number 48 car to his own team in the number 01 Days In for Thunderbird. Larry Pearson will move from the number 4 over to the number 2 for DK Ulrich. Richard Petty, of course, is going to stay in the 43, and Michael Waltrip stays in the 30. Eddie Bierschwale moves from his own team over to Judy Don Levy Racing in the number 94 Thunderbird. We'll see if Eddie Bierschwale can do anything in that car. Harry Gant is being Harry Gant in the 33. Here's one of our rookies. Jack Pennington is in the number 47 Kanahua Insurance Oldsmobile. And another rookie right next to him, the number 80 of Jimmy Horton. Here we have the number 94 of Sterling Marlin. No changes there. And another rookie of the series, the number 20 of Rob Moroso. Chad Little will move from the number 90 Judy Don Levy for Thunderbird, and he will take over his own team, the number 19. Lake Speed is still driving for himself in the number 83. Joe Ruttman is sort of the wild card for this year, as he was able to sneak in with his number 32 Sears Pontiac. Jeff Purvis is going to stay in the number 52 Pontiac this season, taking over for Jimmy Means, who officially retired in the off-season. Rodney Coombs is still in the number 89 Pontiac, still struggling to find sponsorship for that car. And J.D. McDuffie, who has confirmed that this will be his last season in the Throwbacks, he will be starting from dead last in this series. So I hope that goes over all of the changes. We should be looking forward to yet another pretty good season here from the Throwbacks. Last year, of course, we had Bill Elliott barely eke out a championship over Tim Richmond. And when I say barely, I mean barely. 2 points. One position. One lap led would have meant all the difference in the championship last year. Here comes the command. Cars have fired up here, and the pace car is going to roll off. 3 out of the top 4 cars are all Ford Thunderbirds, as Ford seems to have brought an excellent program with them for today's race, and potentially for the season. It should be interesting to see just how well the Fords do. We know that Jeff Bodine, that could be a resurging team after having Terry Labonte not do so well. We'll see what Jeff Bodine can do. He had a couple of lackluster seasons with Hendrick. So Hendrick and Junior Johnson, they basically do a driver switch. Terry Labonte goes to the 5, Bodine goes to the 11. We'll see if it's a benefit to both teams. Right now, I definitely say the advantage is going to Junior Johnson. Pace car is going to go in. The cars are coming down to the line at 70 miles an hour. And the green flag is out here from Daytona. Oh dear. You can see all the cars flying by there on the pit road camera. They all fly into corner number 1. It looks like Jeff Bodine is going to have the advantage early on. Ricky Rudd's going to push hard. He's going to get into the 2nd position. Dale Earnhardt is going to move into 3rd. As we can see the cars flying by here on the back straightaway. And here's Ricky Rudd. He's going to end up taking the lead away from Jeff Bodine, last year's winner of the Prelude to the Throwbacks and the Daytona 500. And that's something that's kind of, I don't know, a crapshoot. I'm not 100% sure what you'd call it. Maybe a superstition. But there have only been 2 years where the Prelude to the Throwbacks has not correctly predicted the Daytona 500 winner. Here comes Dale Earnhardt down to the inside. He'll take the lead. So last year, Jeff Bodine, he won the Prelude. He won the Daytona 500. The only 2 times that the Prelude winner has not led to the Daytona 500 winner is actually both the times that Jeff Bodine also won it. He won it in 1986 when teammate Tim Richmond would end up winning the Daytona 500. What a way to get your first career win. Oh, was it his first career win? I'm not 100% sure. Well, what a way to bust into the league and into the championship scene. As you can see, Morgan Shepherd, he's going to come down to the inside of the free car here. Jeff Bodine would actually end up winning the Prelude race again in 1988. Dale Earnhardt won the Daytona 500 that year. And then Jeff Bodine, of course, gets the Prelude victory and gets the Daytona 500 victory in 1989. So Jeff Bodine is definitely the most successful driver in this event since we started running it in 1984. Terry Labonte is going to take him down to the line. He's going to cross the line. So in 1984, Harry Gant won the Prelude to the Throwbacks and would go on to win the Daytona 500. 1985, Greg Sachs pulled a shocking upset as he would get his only top 10 of the season by winning the Prelude and then winning the Daytona 500. 1986, we just said Jeff Bodine won the Prelude and Tim Richmond won the 500. In 1987, Bill Elliott won the Prelude and the Daytona 500 to, I would just say, unsurprising fanfare. It was the first Daytona 500 ever done on restrictor plates, as here comes Derek Cope down to the inside. He's going to try to take the lead for Whitcomb Racing. 1988, Jeff Bodine did it again, this time eking out a hard-fought victory over his teammate Tim Richmond and Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace. So it was really a wild card to see who was going to win between those four. Dale Earnhardt would eventually end up winning. And of course, last year, Jeff Bodine won both races. You can see Derek Cope is having a little bit of a hard time trying to get around Bill Elliott here. Looks like he might have him cleared through the tri-oval. Bobby Hillen trying to give Derek Cope the best push that he can. Bobby Hillen is really, really good at these super speedway races. Really good. He has a couple of second place finishes at Talladega. He also has a second place finish in the Coca-Cola 600. Almost ended up winning that in 1985. So Hillen's going to get around Cope here. It looks like Hillen's going to go to the lead. Now here comes Waltrip down to the inside. Darrell Waltrip trying to redeem himself here for Hendrick Motorsports. It's really been one disappointing season after another for the three-time champ. Him and Hendrick just have not clicked, and his contract is up at the end of the year. Who knows where Waltrip's going to go? He's obviously going to be probably the hugest free agent of the 1991 season. And you gotta imagine it'll probably be Waltrip's last year with Hendrick Motorsports. Meanwhile, another person that has been, well, let's just say a disappointment here for Yates is Davey Allison. He's had a couple of disappointing seasons back-to-back. He had a promising rookie season. Oh, sorry about that. And it just hasn't really clicked. Allison's hoping for a good year this time around, though. No doubt about that. Here comes Neil Bonnet to the bottom. Bonnet trying to put the Wood Brothers back on the map, although, boy, it's been a long time since the Wood Brothers have won a race. You have to go back to 1986, the Spring Talladega race. The one where we all know that Benny Parsons' career tragically ended. But Kyle Petty was able to pick up the Wood Brothers' first win in many years. As Ken Schrader's going to get a little train of cars behind him. Ken Schrader, Harry Gant, Alan Kowicki, Jack Pennington, and Chad Little. Here comes Gant. He's going to come down to the bottom. Kowicki's going to go with him. Maybe. Oh, looks like these guys put a pretty good gap on the pack here. Schrader's got a fast car, and, oh, we all know that. Schrader, of course, picking up can't remember if it was 2 or 3 wins, but he had a multi-win season last year. He's hoping to have anywhere near the same success that he had a year ago this year. We'll see if it happens. Well, Harry Gant, he has won this race before. We'll see if he can possibly do it again. We've got a couple of Oldsmobiles out in front here. What's going to happen? The rookie's going to try to go for the lead. Here comes Jack Pennington. We got another Oldsmobile in the Formula 1, and that's actually Harry Gant's teammate in the form of Phil Parsons. And they're going to go 3 wide down the back straightaway. Here comes sophomore Chad Little. And they're going to go 3 wide into turn 3. Phil Parsons is going to try to take the lead, and he does. Getting a strong push from Dale Jarrett and Eddie Bierschwell on the bottom. Boy, the front of the pack is really starting to get jumbled up here. Right now, it's all good with Phil Parsons in the lead. 10 to go. Nice little sprint race to start the year. Here comes Eddie Bierschwell down to the bottom. Now, one person that we're not going to see this season is Ben Hess. Someone who was, to at least say, shockingly good on the super speedways. And here's the person that stole Brett Bodine's Daytona 500 win away. The number 2, Larry Pearson. He's going to take the lead. How long will it take for the 25 to get around him? Answer, not long. Here comes Richmond to the bottom. Richmond will not get the lap led, but he will certainly get the lead going off into turn 1. Ernie Irvin is right there. And we got a couple of really strong cars here. Tim Richmond. We've got Ricky Rudd. We know he's got a strong car, a potentially championship contending car. Remember, he got 3 wins last year. He's just got to get some consistent finishes together. Rusty Wallace, we all know that's a championship contending team. If they have their stuff together. Which they didn't for a long time in 1989, and that's why they were unfortunately unable to compete for the championship. Though we're not really expecting to see a lot of breakout stars this year, it's probably going to be much of the same. Earnhardt, Richmond, Elliott, Wallace. I don't really see that mode changing at all. It's just going to be the battle between those 4 drivers, and I just think that it's going to be that battle for quite a while. It might last well into the 90s. Well, maybe Earnhardt will start falling off. He is 39 years old. But you got to consider Elliott and Richmond, they're still relatively young. And Wallace has plenty of seasons left in him as well. One team that I really would look out for is the number 6 of Mark Martin, the Roush Racing Squad. They really broke out last year. Again, I can't remember if they got 2 or 3 wins, but it was one of those 2. They had a multi-win season. And you gotta imagine they could be championship contenders this year. Right now, we got a couple of Buicks out in front. Bobby Hillin Jr. currently leads Ricky Rudd in the 26th. They come to the line. 6 laps to go. Hillin's got the lead. Joe Ruttman, Terry Labonte, Chad Little are the next drivers on the inside lane. Here comes Ruttman to the bottom. Man, Ruttman, that's a startup team this year, but Ruttman seems to be doing quite well for himself. Ruttman's trying to get a good momentum here, trying to get a good run down in the inside lane. Right now, Bobby Hillin Jr. is putting all the stops up, though. Hillin's going to lead. 5 laps to go. He's doing a good job. Oh, look at the run that Ricky Rudd gets through the tri-oval. Is he going to be able to cross the 32 over? He can't do it. Oh, 3 wide for second is Hillin's trying to block every lane he can. He can't quite get to the bottom. Can he beat the 32 back into turn 3? It's going to be interesting to see. I think he's going to get him. He's got him. Can Hillin throw the block? Hillin can't throw the block. In fact, he might slide up. Oh, boy, that's some close racing there. Hillin trying to play the best defense he can, but it seems like he's too tight getting into the corners. 4 laps to go. Hillin's defending the lead, but for how long? Oh, whoa, we got an accident. 32 in the wall. Oh, good Lord, the caution flag's going to come out. A huge, huge accident here going into turn number 1. The 32 got turned into the outside wall. The yellow flag is out. The race is going to be back to the line, and whoever wins this is going to win themselves the Prelude to the Throwbacks. Here comes Elliott off of turn 4. He's going to come to the yellow flag, and he will be the 1990 Prelude to the Throwbacks winner. And the big loser, Joe Ruttman in the 32 car. As we're going to try to examine exactly what happened here. So you can see these guys are going to try to make it 4 wide, getting into the corner. There's not going to be enough room for that. So the 25 and the 32, they're going to get together. They all get into the 25, the 26. They're all getting into the inside wall. The inside line's good to go for now. Dale Jarrett is going to turn down here. He's still good. And now you can see cars are checking up. Martin's in the wall. Gant's in the wall. You can see the rookie there in the 47, Jack Pennington. Number 01, Mickey Gibbs. He gets pounded in the quarter panel. Irvin in the wall. Martin's going to come up and he's going to hit the wall again. Spencer hit the wall. And man, Mickey Gibbs was really hit hard. Lake Speed got a part of it. The only 2 cars that really got out in front was the 8 and the 9. It's basically a race between these 2 cars. And of course, Elliott isn't going to let Bobby Hillen get anywhere close to his car. And Elliott is going to follow up his momentum of winning the 1989 Throwbacks Championship with a win in the Prelude to the 1990 Throwbacks. Unfortunately, we're going to have to watch the race as it ends underneath the yellow flag. So, unless people mysteriously dive off into pit road here with a lap to go, and I don't think that's going to happen. Field's going to pretty much end up like this. So who were the victims of that accident? It looks like pretty much everyone. You can see Ernie Irvin. He's stuck there. I don't usually like going out to this screen, but here I am doing it anyways. What you're seeing here on the left, this is pretty much what your running order is going to be once Hutch Strickland and Ken Schrader drop down. And, well, Ernie Irvin's going to stay there. But once all those guys drop down, that will be your finishing order for the Prelude to the Throwbacks. So things really got dicey there, coming down with a few laps to go. It looked like Hillen was going to be able to defend. Hillen was unable to defend. And as I said before, winning this race is a really good omen. Elliott trying to repeat the same magic that he had in 1987 as he won the Throwbacks, the Prelude to the Throwbacks, and he won the 500. He will try to do the same thing this time around. Of course, at the end of this video, we're also going to set the front row for the Daytona 500. Well, Not this video, but the next video. I just remember that there's a couple of things that I need to do for that. Everything's still looking good. Elliot's just going to have to come off of turn 4 and receive his checkered flag to start this Speedweeks off with a bang. Elliot, last year's points champion by just 2 points, the closest points margin in NASCAR history, a record that will probably stand forever. Elliot is going to come through the tri-oval, past the line, and he will be your winner of the 1990 Prelude to the Throwbacks. You'll see everybody pass the line here. Complete standings, of course, are going to be on your left. You can see who retired and who didn't and whatever happened. And that's going to be all for this video. The next video, we will set the front row for the Daytona 500, and we will give you the first of the 2 Daytona 500 dual races. We'll see you then.